Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is London Tay coming to you today with another video, girl. Today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I dyed this T-part wig and also how I gluelessly installed it on my client. It's her birthday. She is 16 years old, girl. This is our first time using a wig, and this is what we're using. So we're using this Eunice wig, guys. It's a T-part wig, as you guys can see. It has blonde strips at the front, and then it's just like everything else is kind of like that. Color number 2, color number 1 be in the back, okay? So I'm going to use BW powder as well as developer. Now, you've seen the 20 volume developer at the beginning, but guys, I end up using the 40 volume developer only because I know it will lift better and then it will look quicker because I don't know if I got time to sit here and waiting hours for an hour or two for this to lift, okay? At 20 volume developer rate, okay? So right here, guys, I'm just going to section off a little bit. I'm just going to use half of the bag, okay? 16 inches is 180% density. It's not that thick, so I feel like a half a bag of that bleach will work, the bleaching powder. And this is the 40 volume developer. I'm just going to keep pouring until I feel like it's soupy. Okay, until I feel like it's soupy enough for me to kind of, stir it around. Now I'm going to just kind of put some hot water, a little bit of hot water in it, and I'm just going to see if I can go ahead and just mix it really, really well. If it's too runny, I'm going to add more developer because I want it to be like a creamy base. I want it to be kind of creamy, but still liquidy. You know what I'm saying? Still movable. So anyways, here I am about to put the wig into that bowl, guys. I did not put that much of water. I put maybe a little bit more water to make sure that everything is kind of able to submerge when it's like flat to the ground. Now, another thing you have to take into consideration, or I had to take into consideration, I had to remember that we had the blonde pieces. Now, it would have been a lot easier if you didn't have the blonde pieces and I just can lift, everything at one time. But since she had the blonde pieces, guys, I didn't think it was smart to just go ahead and bleach the whole thing because I feel like the blonde pieces would have broke off, okay? So what I did was I just sectioned off the blonde piece and just held it in my hand, and then I kind of just dunked the rest of the wig into that bleach bath, okay? I'm running my fingers through it just to kind of distribute it somewhat, just to kind of, get everything started. Now, one thing I did have to take consideration, even though the blonde is there, the roots are still dark. So what I had to do is, in order for me not to process it, I think it got on it a little bit, but I didn't want to just completely submerge it because I just was scared it was going to break off. So, and it did not break off, guys. So it did pretty well. So I'm just kind of flipping the wig back and forth, getting it on the outside really good, getting it on the roots where that blonde is, okay? Just using my fingers and just trying to get everything in, okay? And I'm just going to do that for a while, guys. And then eventually I'm just going to get a comb and I'm just kind of going to comb everything through. But for right now, I'm just kind of piecing everything with my hands. Okay, y'all, so after I let everything sit, I just let everything sit for 30 minutes. After I combed everything and applied all the bleach and combed everything through, I let it sit for 30 minutes. And now it's like thick, it feels thick. I'm just going to kind of go through the wig again and just make sure everything is coated really, really well. And I'm going to kind of let it sit for another 10 to 15 minutes just to make sure that it's you know, still wet because, y'all, when I had the wig, I didn't cover the wig up and it was cold in my house. So the wig kind of felt cold. And I was like, I wonder if this is going to stunt the bleaching process. So what I decided to do is I decided to kind of just start combining everything at this point. For the most part, like I didn't care about the blonde getting wet because I didn't know, you know, it didn't matter about, it wasn't going to be in there longer to me. So I had ended up putting it in that bin and closing the lid just to kind of trap some heat. And then after 10 to 15 minutes, now I'm just rinsing it out with water, guys. So now it looks so dark, y'all, whenever I got this really wet to rinse out. And I was like, oh my God, this did not work. Like, what? So, but it ended up working, guys. But I ended up using 2 bottles of that Cajun spice. So what I decided to do was I initially was going to do like a watercolor method. So I just kind of filled the tub up a little bit with water, the sink up with warm water. And then I just kind of put that bottle of that Cajun spice in there. I mixed it up really, really good. And then I dunked that wig into it to see, you know, okay, what color it's going to come up with. The blonde looked pink, y'all. The blonde looks like, it looked pink. It must be like hints of pink in this Cajun spice color because the blonde was just like freaking pink, okay? And I was like, well, this is not going to work. Like, I don't know. This is not orange. Like, wait. Like, this doesn't look right. And guys, you can see, like, you see how that blonde, you know, took or whatever. But everything else just looks really dark. And I was just like, ugh. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this other bottle of Cajun spice. And I'm going to just kind of just plaster it on there. And I'm going to focus more so on the blonde because I feel like the blonde needs work. So I end up using that, doing that. And I end up kind of, you know, just distributing it throughout. Now, y'all, so since the blonde, I was like, okay, y'all look at that. That just didn't, what? Like, no, girl. So I kind of end up massaging it, and I just literally just end up dumping the whole bottle on the wig and kind of combing it through. And then I let it sit for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then I rinse it out. And it turned out pretty well. It turned out way better than I kind of expected. Since I did have to kind of bleach everything in different times and the blonde was already there, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't like one normal color. It had like different dimensions in it, which actually didn't turn out bad, as you guys can see from, you know, the beginning of the video. So yeah, I just basically end up just doing that Cajun spice. Now, y'all, so since I was like, oh my God, this is pink, how do I add more like orange to it? I end up getting the color mocha, and that's like a dark brown color. I put a little bit of that mocha at the front where that blonde is because I just kind of wanted it to be like a rich color. Like, I wanted it to be a rich color, so I added literally like 1 squirt of the color mocha, and that's that brown. Only because I had that blonde, y'all. If I did not have that blonde, I would not have added that color mocha, okay? So, yeah. So, here I am, girl. I'm literally just about to slap some braids into her hair, girl. 10 braids. Her hair was thick. She didn't detangle it. It was oily. I was like, you know what? We just going to get these braids as flat as we can get them real quick. Just stuff these braids up in her hair, girl. And it's going to work out. So, I ended up putting like 10, 11 braids in her head. Nothing special. And then I put the stocking cap on it. So, guys, with the stocking cap, what I ended up doing was I ended up doing like a regular stocking cap method. I don't know why that footage isn't in there, how I apply the stocking cap. But I end up just kind of, you know, just putting it like I was going to put over a whole frontal. And then I just cut out the space where I'm going to have this. This is just a closure wig. I just cut out a little tiny box of where the part was going to be, just so everything still looks scalp-like underneath the wig. So I still wanted that little section, that little piece of that wig cap, but I didn't want it over the whole thing. But when I ended the braids, I did kind of use a crochet needle and kind of crochet the braids, the leftover braids, onto the hair. So that way everything was still laid flat and everything was just still, you know, flat. And I didn't have to put like a wig cap in the back or anything like that. So I'm just braiding her hair down like I said, y'all. Just combining all the braids. This is how basically everything looks. I am going to oil her scalp with some carrot oil. Everything I'm using, it will be in the description box below, and it was pretty much at the beginning of the video, okay? So, yes, I moisturize that scalp with that carrot oil, and then, like I said, for that wig cap, I only use like a little square of the wig cap. And how you do that is you just literally just put the wig cap on, and then you use like some got-to-be glue cream or spray or whatever, and you spray what you want to keep, okay? So you spray the front, and you spray the sides and the back where you want it to be, okay? I was debating. I was like, should I do a wig cap? But I thought about it. I said, she has straight back braids, and I'm like, in order for it to look more flush, that is how the color look, y'all. See how it's a little blotchy, but it's not bad, okay? It's not bad, especially when you style it. It looks pretty, like it looks like you meant to do it, you know. So yeah, you see how I kind of just put it on initially, and I initially was going to just sew everything down, but I was like, it's not a frontal, like I don't really need to do that. But right here, I'm just kind of fitting it on her head just to see how I'm going to have it. Now, it's a T-part wig, but you don't have to just make it a middle part. You can definitely make it a side part. So I end up making it a side part because she wanted a side part, all right? So I'm just kind of fitting everything and seeing how I'm have everything. Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So after that, I'm just going to brush her edges out the way. I'm going to brush them all back. So I was trying to debate, should I leave some of her edges out? But I end up not leaving any edges out. I end up putting all her edges up eventually. And then I end up using that wig cap. You see that wig cap underneath, guys? I literally just put that got-to-be glue spray at the front. And then I sewed the sides of that wig cap. And there we go. As far as that wig, I used the Ruby Kisses contour palette in the lightest shade, and I put a little bit of that underneath the wig lace part, just so it can kind of blend in a little better. And I put a tiny bit on that wig cap, just to kind of make sure it wasn't like flushed out. You know, it just wasn't too light. So this is a glueless install, guys, but what I end up doing is I just use that got-to-be glue cream. I don't know where all that footage went, but I'm just going to explain it. I did like 2 layers of that got-to-be glue cream underneath the wig, and I just kind of combed that lace into it, and now I'm just kind of cutting the extra lace that I do not need. It looks, you know, it looks crazy, you know, whatever, but we gonna figure it out because it just need a little bit of plucking. So I'm just gonna, she wants baby hairs, y'all. She wants, you know, full baby hairs, all right? So what I end up doing was I'm sectioning out where, you know, the baby hairs are going to be probably, and then I'm going to have her hold it after I am done plucking everything. While I'm plucking, I'm just holding it, and I'm just kind of, you know, just plucking and see where I need to kind of pull everything out of. So that is what I'm doing, y'all. Nothing special. But like I said, I'm going to get her to hold it. And then I'm going to kind of install the wig. So while I'm getting her to hold that front down and make sure it doesn't lift, I'm going to use that, I can't remember the brand of that wax stick, but I think, oh, it's a lustrasilk. It's a lustrasilk, but I will link all that. And I'm just going to use that lustrasilk wax stick, and I'm going to just hot comb everything back away from the baby hairs, just to kind of make sure that everything's going to lay flat. This is very important, guys. And I'm just kind of instructing her how to hold that so that way nothing lifts and everything still kind of lays flat. Now I'm going to use that got-to-be glue spray, and then I'm going to spray her edges and just kind of make sure everything is melted the way it's supposed to. Now I'm going to get like an elastic band, a super thin one, and I'm going to just tie that where I sprayed to make sure that everything is melt. It's like a melt belt. It's like girl, you need that belt. A scarf or nothing will do it the same way as that melt belt, okay? So now I'm just going to part where I want her part to be, but I still have to make sure, you know, it's a T-part, so it's only one part, you know, so it's still going to be, it's not going to be like that perfect little side part, but we're going to make it do what it do. I'm going to use that wax stick again on the part, and I'm going to just hot comb everything to the side, everything back, make sure everything is freaking flat. Okay, going to do that. And then after I am done, while that is melting and everything, I like to just go ahead and style the hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my babyliss, a little bit of that biosilk, and that babyliss. I'm just going to go ahead and do some barrel curls on her hair. Alright, y'all, so now that I'm done curling, I'm going to use my tweezers and I'm just going to plug the parting space. That's self-explanatory. It's just to make everything bigger and everything not so wiggy and close together. So I'm just gonna pluck and kind of pull, pluck and pull, pluck and pull. Be very, very gentle because you can get holes whenever you do this type of method. After I do that, guys, I'm going to pluck that part. I'm going to pluck the front and just kind of thin that area between the baby hairs and the hair, just to kind of thin their hairline and make it look more natural, okay? I could have did more, but I didn't do too much, okay? So after I do that, guys, I'm going to take that elastic band off, and then we're just going to just start messing with the baby hairs. Now I'm going to use the aphogee mousse. So guys, whenever you do spray and you tie that melt elastic band on, it will seem like your baby hairs are like stuck. Like you can't move them. So I just like to just maneuver them with that mousse. I just kind of like to put that mousse on, and then you can just move the baby hairs, but everything still will be melted. Don't be really rough because of course you will lift the lace if you're really, really rough. So just be very, very gentle whenever you are moving that baby hairs. So like I said, I'm just going to pluck, 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 pluck. And then I'm going to get some shears, which is some scissors, hair scissors. And I'm going to kind of cut the baby hairs. I'm going to do a little bit more plucking. You know, you just figure out how thick or how thin you want them and how short and how long you want them. And like I said, I'm going to use that mousse to kind of soften up everything. And I'm also going to put that mousse on the side of the part just to have everything flat and just give it just a more and more flat look, okay? And yeah, after I basically just style the baby hairs, after I move it with that mousse, I do get that Got To Be Glue cream, and then I use that cream to just really, really just lay that baby hairs and get it stuck. I don't want no fluffy baby hairs. I want them things to be laid. She's young. This is her first wig. I want to make sure that they're not going to move anywhere. So yeah, guys, and then I'm just going to use this kind of long type of comb. And I like to use that after I do these barrel curls because they really make everything flow and fluff and blend really good. And it makes like layers throughout the hair, and I really, really like it. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you on my next video. Love y'all so much. Bye.